Breathe deeply. Exhale slowly. Once more. Inhale and exhale gently. You've made it this far, and that's already an important step. Perhaps the day has been overwhelming, or maybe you're simply seeking a moment of peace. Whatever the reason, this is your time, a time just for you, to care for your mind, your well-being, and, who knows, to start planting seeds of tranquility for your financial life as well. Today, we'll walk together down a gentle path, a path where money ceases to be a source of tension and becomes part of your balance. Let's talk about a very special concept, an idea that's been captivating more and more people. The possibility of earning money, even while you sleep. It's not a magical promise. It's a gentle process built with care, with conscious choices, and a new way of thinking. In this space, there's no rush, no judgments, just presence, listening, and softness. Maybe you've never heard of passive income, or perhaps you have, but don't know where to start. Don't worry. Here, everything will be explained with care, with clear explanations, no complicated terms, as if we were sipping tea by candlelight, with a breeze gently brushing your face. Imagine yourself lying in an open field, eyes closed, feeling the soft warmth of the sun, and a gentle sense of peace spreading through your body. That's how I'd like you to feel right now, because learning about money doesn't have to be a heavy process. It can be delicate, almost like a whisper that gently touches your consciousness and, little by little, transforms your relationship with the future. Over the next hour, we'll explore, step by step, small, big ideas about how money can start working for you, even in the moments when you're simply resting. We'll reflect, imagine, dream, and at the same time, take small, practical steps, all at your own pace, with lightness, with love. Allow yourself to relax, drop your shoulders, calm your thoughts. You don't need to write anything down right now. You don't need to understand everything immediately. This is an invitation to feel, to open up, to receive. Every word here was chosen with care, as if we were weaving a soft blanket made of peace, clarity, and possibilities. So, just breathe. This is the beginning of our journey, a journey within yourself, and also toward a lighter tomorrow. And now, with your heart a little calmer, let's begin our journey. Imagine yourself on a path made of soft earth, surrounded by tall trees swaying gently in the wind. You walk slowly, feeling each step, and with every step, something inside you shifts, a new sensation that it's possible to build something beautiful, even with simplicity. This is the start of your financial journey. Today, you'll discover a special concept, one that can change the way you relate to money, not abruptly, but with the care of someone learning a new song, note by note, in the silence of the night. Have you ever heard of passive income? Maybe that phrase feels distant, or even a bit intimidating, but I want to show you that, in truth, it's much closer than it seems. Let's imagine together. Think of a tiny seed, small, unassuming. You plant that seed with care. Water it every day. Let the sun touch it, and wait with patience. One day it begins to sprout, and over time it grows into a tree, a fruitful tree, one that bears fruit even when you're resting, even when you're sleeping. Passive income is that tree. It's something you build with care, and later it starts to offer you fruit without you needing to be present all the time. It's the opposite of trading time directly for money. It's a way of planting now, to harvest always. Many people spend their entire lives trading their time for a salary. They work from morning to night and feel that if they stop, the money stops too. And that creates a sense of urgency, of exhaustion, of fear for tomorrow. But what if there were another way? What if, alongside the work you already do, you could start creating small sources of income that keep generating even when you're not active? Maybe it still feels far off. But remember the little seed. Everything starts small. Everything starts with one step. The idea of earning money while you sleep isn't about instant wealth or easy shortcuts. It's about wisdom, about organization, and, above all, about awareness. Awareness that your time is precious. Awareness that financial freedom begins with a gentle shift in how you think about money. From now on, we'll explore some passive income ideas. But before that, I invite you to reflect on how money has been influencing your emotions. Do you feel anxious just thinking about finances? Feel like you can't save anything? Or that you need to work constantly to keep up with everything? These emotions are more common than you might think. But you're here now, and that already shows that something inside you wants to change, wants to find another path. Passive income isn't just a technical concept. It's also a philosophy of life, a way to seek balance, a way to care for your energy and to respect your limits. It's like building a bridge between the present and the future, a solid, safe bridge built with care, knowledge, and intention. As you listen, imagine you're sitting in the shade of that tree we started planting. Feel the coolness of the shade and hear the soft sounds around you. You're safe here, and when you're ready, we'll take the next step together. Our journey is just beginning. Imagine a small village by the edge of a calm lake. The houses are simple, but filled with care. People greet each other with serene smiles, and the days pass at a gentle pace, almost like the beating of a resting heart. In this village lives a woman named Clara. Clara wakes every day to the sound of birds and the smell of freshly brewed coffee. She works with embroidery, something she learned from her grandmother, and does with calm hands and a full heart. But there's something that sets Clara apart from the others in the village. Clara decided years ago to embroider not just with needle and thread, but with a vision for the future. She began turning her designs into patterns, which are now sold in other places, even while she sleeps. While Clara prepares her coffee, someone, somewhere else, is buying one of her patterns. That's the impact of passive income in everyday life. Often, when we talk about earning money while you sleep, it feels abstract. But in reality, it shows up in the details of life. Clara can now embroider with pleasure, not with haste. She can take time to walk to the lake, visit her sister without worrying about losing a work day. She can breathe with more lightness. Passive income offers more than just resources. It offers time, and time is the raw material of life. Now, let's bring this idea into your world. Have you ever felt trapped in a routine? Like every day is the same, like everything depends entirely on your constant effort. That feeling is common, and it often comes from the idea that money only comes in when you're present, active, productive, running. But think with me, what if part of your effort today could bear fruit in the future? What if you could prepare something now that keeps bringing returns? Tomorrow, next month, or even next year. It's like baking a delicious cake and sharing it with many people. And every time someone remembers its flavor, they come back and thank you with a small gift. Passive income doesn't need to be complex. It can start with something simple, like creating digital content, sharing knowledge you already have, renting out something that's sitting unused. The important thing is to understand that these small actions change your routine. They free your mind from urgency and restore the joy of doing things at your own pace. Imagine yourself now in your home, doing something you love. You glance at the clock, but feel no rush. You feel space. You feel autonomy. Passive income allows this. It transforms your day-to-day into a softer, lighter, more breathable space. Maybe at this moment you're wondering, where do I start? What if I don't have any ideas? Calm down. Remember the village. Remember Clara. She didn't start with grand ideas. She started with what she had in her hands. And you can start too, with what you already know, love, or do. The impact begins small, but grows like ripples, spreading slowly and touching every area of your life with more serenity. You don't need to run. You don't need to know everything now. You just need to breathe and take the first step. Now, let's move forward with tranquility. Let's talk about gentle, possible strategies to begin walking this new path. A path where time works in your favor, even when you rest. Imagine we're now in a small wooden cabin, in the middle of a quiet clearing, where the breeze dances through the leaves and time slows down. You're sitting comfortably with a soft notebook in your lap and a warm cup in your hands. This is a good place to think with calm. This is the moment we begin, gently, to dream of real possibilities. Passive income isn't a magic trick, but it is indeed a gentle dance between now and later, between planting and harvesting. Let's talk with care about some seeds you can plant. The first is sharing what you know. Yes, what you already know. Have you ever thought that someone right now is trying to learn what you are already master? It could be a family recipe, a technique you learned at work, a simple way to solve something many find complicated. You can turn that knowledge into a simple ebook, a video course, short tutorials, and by doing so, you build something that keeps existing, even when you're resting. That's the magic. You teach once, and the learning remains useful day after day. Now imagine a second possibility, creating something that generates repeated value. It could be digital art, a musical composition, a design, a photograph, something that can be licensed, downloaded, reused by others. This creation becomes like an echo, that comes back to you, bringing recognition, and little by little, returns. But what if you don't see yourself as creative? That's okay. Let's breathe together. You can also start with something more practical. Renting out what you have and don't use all the time. It could be an empty room, a piece of equipment sitting unused, an object someone needs for a while. By sharing something idle, you turn passivity into prosperity. And if you're ready for a bigger step, there's also the possibility of joining collective projects. There are groups and communities that build together. Products, ideas, solutions. You can be a supporter, a silent partner, a gentle collaborator, and your presence, even if discreet, helps turn the gears. That keeps spinning, even when you retreat to rest. But more important than the strategy is the gentleness of the decision. Nothing needs to be done in a rush. You don't need to apply everything at once. Think of it as a cup of tea that needs the right time to release its aroma. And you just need to be present and receptive. Choose one single seed, the one that calms you most, the one that speaks to your current moment. Maybe you choose to write, or perhaps to record, or maybe to lend something. It doesn't matter. What matters is the first gesture. Passive income isn't just about money. It's about presence, about creating freedom of time, about being able to hear your breath without the weight of urgency. And if doubt ever arises, if it's really worth it, close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself a few months from now, with time, with lightness, with fewer worries and more clarity. That image is yours. It exists, and you can reach it, step by step. Now that we've planted the first seeds, it's time to care for the most important ground, your mind. Let's gently cultivate the mindset and financial awareness, because for any strategy to flourish, the inner soil must be fertile, gentle, and ready. Feel free to close your eyes. Let your body relax even more, as if you were softly melting onto a fluffy cloud. Picture yourself in a vast field, an open field where the grass sways gently in the wind, and there are no worries, just the present and a sweet silence that envelops everything. Here, you don't need to understand numbers. You don't need to know difficult terms or predict the future. Here, you just need to breathe. Today, in this inner field, we'll plant something even more essential. Tranquility and clarity about what you feel regarding money and what you want to feel from now on. Maybe you grew up hearing that talking about money is improper, or that money only comes with great suffering. Maybe words like bill, debt, or savings make your heart tighten. But today, now, in this safe space, you can look at all of this with kindness, like watching clouds pass by, without haste, without judgment. The first cloud might be fear. Fear of not having enough. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of losing. You can softly say to that fear, I see you, but I am not you. Fear can be welcomed without needing to guide your steps. It's just a visitor. Now see another cloud. It's called guilt. It whispers things like, I should have started earlier. I should have saved more. I should know how to do this. But here, you're learning to look at life with kinder eyes. You're here now, And that is enough. You're not late. You're in the perfect time for your blooming. Breathe deeply and let those clouds pass. You don't need to hold on to them. Now, as the sky clears a little, we can talk about the mindset of abundance. Abundance isn't about having more, and more. It's not about accumulation. Abundance is about feeling that what you have is enough and knowing that what you don't yet have can come. A mind of abundance doesn't panic with the unexpected. It trusts, it adapts, it breathes, and finds solutions. You can gently begin to change the dialogue in your mind. Instead of thinking, I'll never make it, try whispering to yourself, I'm learning, and that's already a path. Instead of repeating, money always slips through my fingers, say, I'm discovering new ways to receive. These gentle phrases, like drops of dew, can nourish the soil of your mind. And over time, they sprout, they grow, they become actions. And actions become reality. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. Each person has their rhythm, their soil, their season. Maybe you know someone who already has many fruits, but you're now preparing your soil with so much more presence. And when your fruits come, they'll be sweet and true. Another aspect of a healthy financial mindset is valuing what you have now. Have you noticed that the simple act of engaging with this content already shows care? You're prioritizing yourself. You're seeking knowledge. You're building. Even if you don't see the results yet, they're on their way. Value every step, even the small ones. Value the choice not to buy something on impulse. Value the decision to track an expense. Value the time you dedicated to learning a little more. All of this is invisible wealth. It's prosperity in the form of awareness. And when you combine tranquility with clarity, something precious is born. Autonomy. You stop living like a boat adrift in the wind and start navigating with intention. You don't need to control everything, but you can learn to steer with gentleness. And that autonomy brings freedom. The freedom to say yes, and the freedom to say no. The freedom to dream, and to build that dream. Let's together repeat a small truth in silence or in a whisper. My worth doesn't depend on how much I have. My worth is whole, regardless of any number. Feel this phrase settling within you like a light blanket, covering your worries. Financial clarity doesn't come with formulas. It comes with observation, with listening, with love. And you can return here whenever you want. This inner field, this space of serenity is always available. Now that your mind is lighter and your heart more receptive, let's move to an even deeper place. A garden where you'll visualize a calm and symbolic scene full of hidden meanings, space to walk and reconnect with your inner security. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath slowing, as if the air flows in and out of your body with the sweetness, without effort. Now, imagine yourself walking slowly down a path of soft earth. Each step is silent, as if the ground is there just to hold you, to support you with kindness. Ahead of you, a secret garden appears. It's yours alone. No one else knows this place. This is the garden of financial calm. You pass through a small wooden gate, and as you do, you feel as if all the worries on your shoulders stay behind. The air is fresh, the scent of flowers is gentle, and a warm breeze caresses your skin. This garden is a reflection of your mind when it's at peace with money. Here, there's no scarcity, no rush, no judgments. You walk among flowers in colors that bring you joy, some yellow like gold, others green like notes folded with care, and many others in soft hues, tones of calm. In the distance, you see a small tree. It's a unique tree, with leaves shining like gleaming coins, and golden fruits swaying lightly in the breeze. This tree represents your financial possibilities. It was born from care, from patience, and from the choice to listen to yourself with kindness. You approach the tree and sit in its shade. The ground is warm, comfortable, as if nature is telling you, you are safe here. Everything will be okay. Now, imagine that next to the tree, there's a small lake. The water is crystal clear, so clear you can see the bottom. This lake represents your mind when it's free from financial anxiety. You see yourself reflected on the water's surface. Your face is serene, your eyes confident, your posture light. In this moment, you realize something important. You don't need to have everything figured out to feel peace now. You don't need huge sums to feel worthy. You just need to be present, and that you already are. You touch the water with your fingertips, and it responds with gentle ripples, as if saying, yes, you can trust the flow of life. Yes, you can trust yourself. Now, breathe deeply and bring to mind a financial situation that worries you. It can be something small or big, something from the past, or something yet to come. Observe this situation as if it were a stone, a small stone you hold in your hands. Feel its weight, notice its texture, and then, with kindness, toss that stone into the lake. Watch the ripples forming, slowly spreading until they disappear. And then the lake returns to calm, gentle, untouched. This image is a reminder. Emotions come and go. Problems arise and pass too. You are so much more than your challenges. Now, look at the tree in front of you again. It's full of new buds, and each bud represents a new choice, a new path, an idea, an opportunity. You can choose with lightness, with wisdom, with compassion for yourself. Maybe it's time to organize your finances. Maybe it's time to ask for help or to start small with a simple habit like tracking your expenses or saving a symbolic amount full of intention. In this garden, you connect with your inner wisdom, that part of you that knows, that feels, that trusts. And if a negative voice arises, saying you're not capable or that you won't succeed, respond with the firmness and kindness. I'm on the path, and each day I become more aware, stronger, freer. Stay in this garden as long as you like. Feel nourished by this peace, by this embrace, by this new way of relating to money, without fear, without guilt, just with presence. When you feel ready, rise from the shade of the tree and begin walking back the way you came, knowing that this garden is always within you. You can visit it whenever you need. Whenever the world feels too noisy or your heart feels tired, slowly bring your attention back to your body, to your breath, to the here and now. Breathe deeply and say to yourself, I am capable. I am enough. I am at peace with my money. And now, with this sweet feeling in your chest, let's move forward together to the next step of this journey. Imagine you're standing before a large blank sheet of paper. It's on a calm table near a window where the morning sunlight streams in. This sheet is the start of something special. It's the space where you'll create your financial action map. But unlike rigid plans, full of pressure and unattainable goals, this will be a gentle plan, made with kindness, made with self-love. You don't need to know all the steps now. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be willing to take the first step. To put something on paper, even if it still feels unclear. Remember, you're not doing this to impress anyone. You're not competing with anyone. You're simply caring for yourself. You're saying with gentle actions, I deserve tranquility. I choose to look at my financial life with care. So, let's begin. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself honestly, what's bothering me today when I think about money? Is there something I've been putting off? What do I deeply want to transform? Maybe you want to get out of debt. Maybe you want to stop feeling anxious every time you open your banking app. Maybe you dream of building a reserve, or simply understanding where your money is going. Whatever your starting point, it's valid. It's important. It's human. Now, look at the blank sheet again. Imagine you're drawing a map, like those from old adventure movies. But this one leads to a special place, your emotional freedom with money. In the center of the map, write my financial well-being. Around it, draw paths with a soft pencil. Each path represents a small choice you can make at your own pace, with respect for your reality. Here are some possible paths to draw on your map. The path of awareness. For 1 week, track all your expenses without judgment. Notice where money slips away without you realizing. Observe your emotional triggers. Do you spend more when you're anxious, tired? Breathe deeply before each purchase. Ask, does this bring me closer or further from the life I want? The path of self-care. Set aside a symbolic amount each week, even if small, for something that nourishes you. A tea, a book, a massage, a pause. Practice gentle affirmations like, I'm learning to care for my money with love. I don't need to have everything figured out to feel at peace. The path of organization. Choose 1 day a week to review your expenses. It could be Money with Love Sunday. Create simple categories: essentials, desires, excesses. Keep all bills in one place, physical or digital. Create small reminders with kind phrases like, you're doing well, or your steps matter. The path of compassionate action. If you have debts, list them clearly, without fear, without shame. Contact institutions to negotiate calmly, without rush. If possible, seek support, friends, professionals, reliable resources. Remind yourself that debt doesn't define your worth. Debt is a state, not an identity. You can draw soft arrows connecting these paths and place place small milestones on the map. These milestones are your celebratables, moments to recognize what's working. For example, I tracked all my expenses for the week. I made a purchase with more awareness. I avoided an impulsive buy. I talked about money without anxiety. These small victories are like seeds, and over time, they become trees, shade, and fruit. Breathe deeply. Notice that you don't need to change everything at once. You don't need to always get it right. You just need to keep going, one step at a time, one kind glance a day. Maybe you've tried before, and maybe you were too hard on yourself. But today, you're choosing a different path. You're choosing a plan with affection, without rigidity, without magic formulas, just with presence, with intention, with truth. Look at your map one last time. See how unique it is, how it reflects who you are, your pains, your dreams, and your quiet courage. You've created more than a financial plan. You've created a space for self-love, and that's the greatest investment anyone can make. You're walking along a peaceful trail. The sky is clear. The breeze is light. Your steps are steady. But suddenly, the clouds shift. An unexpected rain begins to fall. You didn't anticipate this. You prepared, made plans, drew your map. But life, as it often does, changed the route. Unexpected events arrive like this, without warning, without kindness. It could be an urgent expense, a health issue, the loss of an income source, or even a small hiccup in your plans. And all you feel is, but I was doing so well. In that moment, it's easy to let fear take over. Anxiety grows like a strong wind. You feel like you've lost control. But here's a gentle truth you might need to hear today. You haven't lost control. You've just been reminded that not everything is under control. And that's okay. Unexpected events aren't failures. It's important to remember, an unexpected event isn't a sign you did something wrong. It's not a punishment nor a flaw in your planning. It's part of the journey. Just as curves are part of the road, just as thunderstorms are part of the seasons. In our culture, we're taught to fear detours. But what if you started to embrace them with more tenderness? What if, instead of fighting against them, you paused for a moment, breathed, and said, okay, this came up. How can I handle it with love? That question changes everything. Creating spaces for flexibility. Remember your financial action map. Let's revisit it now, but with a fresh perspective. Every well-drawn map includes a margin of safety. A plan B, a shelter in case of rain. Start thinking of flexibility as a form of self-care. Here are some ways to create that space. Serenity. Fund. A small amount set aside, even if tiny, reserved only for emergencies. It could start with 10 rays a week. The amount matters less than the symbolic act of saying to yourself, I prepare with care for the unexpected. Gentle monthly reviews. Look at your plan every 30 days. Ask yourself, what's changed? Do I need to adjust anything? Am I being too hard on myself? Realistic expectations. Understand that there will be tight months, unstable days. Having flexibility isn't being disorganized. It's being human, handling the anxiety of detours. When something goes off plan, it's common for your heart to race. You feel tempted to enter full urgency mode. But what if, for a moment, you did the opposite. Pause. Breathe. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your body. Feel that you're still here, that you're bigger than this unexpected event. Now ask yourself, what's in my control right now? What can I solve now? What can wait? This simple practice brings back presence, and with presence, solutions come, turning detours into discoveries. Sometimes unexpected events reveal what needs strengthening. They show where we're vulnerable, and that's precious. For example, an unexpected car expense reveals the importance of a maintenance fund. A drop in income highlights the need for multiple sources. Any impulsive purchase shows there might still be some pain being compensated. None of this is cause for guilt. It's building material. You're building your path with real blocks, not perfect ideas. A ritual for tough days. When facing an unexpected event, try this ritual. Find a quiet space, your room, the bathroom, the backyard, anywhere you can be with yourself. Close your eyes and say aloud, "It's okay. I didn't expect this, but I trust I'll find a way." Breathe deeply 3 times. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Repeat to yourself, "I'm capable of getting through this with kindness." Write down what happened. Write without filters. By hand, if possible. Putting it on paper helps organize the chaos. Write one single concrete action you can take now. Just one. You don't need to solve everything today. Just take the next step. You're not alone. Everyone faces unexpected events, even those who seem all sorted out. The difference lies in how we handle them. You're learning not to panic, to respond with wisdom, to embrace yourself on cloudy days. This is a profound form of emotional freedom. The journey continues, and every detour, every curve, can lead you to discover parts of yourself you'd forgotten. Breathe. You're doing well, even with the changes, even with the delays. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Next, we'll explore how to create a lighter relationship with consumption, learning to buy with awareness, without guilt and without rigidity. You're in a store or browsing a website. Something catches your eye, an object, a piece of clothing, a book, a decoration. For a moment, you feel a spark. Something says, "This will make me feel good." And maybe you buy it, or maybe you don't. But soon after, a question arises. Did I really need this? Was I impulsive? Am I sabotaging myself financially? And with that, guilt creeps in. But is every purchase a lack of control? Is buying something for yourself a synonym for irresponsibility? Or is there a middle path where consumption becomes an act of presence, care, connection? Yes, there is. And that's what we'll talk about now. Consumption as emotional language. Often, we buy to try to fill something, a void, a discomfort, a frustration. And for a few minutes it seems to work. The feeling is relief. But then, the object becomes just a symbol of the impulse, and the discomfort returns. This doesn't happen because you can't control yourself. It happens because on some level, you're trying to care for yourself, just in a disconnected way. Consumption is a misunderstood emotional language. It reveals so much about what you feel, what you desire, what you believe you deserve, from judgment to understanding. Before judging a purchase as wrong, pause and ask, what was I feeling before I wanted this? Was I tired, sad, angry, alone? This simple question that transforms guilt into curiosity. And with curiosity, self-awareness is born. For example, if you always buy something after a stressful day, maybe your body is saying, I need care, rest, pleasure. If you buy to feel belonging, maybe you're craving more connection or recognition. None of these things are wrong. They just need to be recognized with more awareness. Buying with awareness is an act of love. You can buy, you can desire beautiful things. You can give yourself gifts. But how about shifting the focus from quantity to intention? Buying with heart is asking, does this truly nourish me? Does this have a place in my life, not just in my home? Does this represent something I value? Does this bring me closer to the life I want to live? When these questions are asked calmly, even small expenses gain new meaning. Exercise the desire journal. For the next 7 days, every time you feel the urge to buy something non-essential, do this. Write down the item you wanted to buy. Write down its cost. Write down what you were feeling at the time. Write down why you wanted it. Wait 48 hours. After that time, reread what you wrote. Do you still want it? Does your reason still make sense? This exercise isn't about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes with more presence. The balance between reward and planning. There's no fulfilling life with constant self-criticism. You don't need to live in sacrifice mode all the time to be good with money. It's healthy to set aside an amount for your desires, even if it's 2%, 5%, 10% of your income. This is your conscious joy fund. It could be for a special dinner, an inspiring book, a course you love, an object that brings beauty and meaning. These purchases are more than consumption. They're gestures of belonging. They're affirmations of personal value, honoring your choices. Maybe you've made purchases you regret. Maybe you've accumulated debts from choices made in tough moments. And all of that has left you with a certain fear of spending, desiring, wanting. But you're not a walking financial mistake. You're learning. You're awakening. Today you can choose differently. Today you can look at your past with compassion and say, I didn't know then what I know now, and even so, I forgive myself. I honor my story, because that, more than any spreadsheet, is freedom. A new perspective on buying. The next time you're standing before a store window or with a website open, close your eyes for a second. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and ask, does this represent me? Does this truly make me feel good? Does this fit my current moment? If the answer is yes, then celebrate. You bought with your heart, and that's sacred. If the answer is no, celebrate too. You practiced your presence, and that's powerful. You can consume with awareness, with lightness, with pleasure, and with peace. Because in the end, it's not about what you buy. It's about how you feel when you do. Now, let's talk about comparing yourself to others and how it can sabotage your financial peace. Let's explore how to cultivate a kinder perspective on your journey without getting lost in the shop windows of other people's lives. You open Instagram or watch a YouTube video. Someone's traveling, buying a new car, showing off their dream house. The caption is simple. Gratitude, but inside you, Something weighs heavy. A voice whispers, "Why haven't I gotten there yet? What am I doing wrong?" It feels like everyone has their life sorted out, except me. This silent comparison steals your shine. It makes you forget your time, your path, your achievements. And without realizing it, you start running a race that isn't yours. In this chapter, we'll talk about this, the poison of comparisons, and the antidote of belonging, the era of the glowing shop window. We live in times where people share a lot, but show little of who they really are. They display snippets, edited moments, polished scenes, and it's easy to mistake that for reality. You see someone with a lifestyle that seems unattainable and think, if they made it, why haven't I? Am I incompetent? Is my effort pointless? But what you don't see is the debts behind the new car, the anxiety of maintaining an image, the comparisons they themselves feel when looking at others, the behind the scenes that don't fit in a story. You're comparing yourself to a carefully curated illusion, and that, inevitably, will make you feel smaller. Every path has its time. Have you ever seen a tree in a hurry to bloom? A flower feeling bad because another bloomed first? No, they just grow at nature's pace, with patience, with roots, with silent wisdom. And you're part of that too. Your time isn't a mistake. Your process isn't late. Your path is unique, and therefore can't be measured by anyone else's ruler. Comparison as a form of self-sabotage. Most of the time, comparison isn't about the other person. It's about how much you believe or don't believe in yourself. When you look at someone's success and feel diminished, it's a sign you need to look at your story with more care. Ask yourself, why does this affect me so much? What does this reveal about my unmet desires? Am I being too hard on myself? This self-analysis is liberating, because when you understand what hurts you, you start healing with presence, not criticism. A real and common example. Imagine you see a friend posting about their new house. Beautiful, decorated, full of light. Deep down, you feel bad. You think your home is too simple, that you haven't progressed enough. But if you stop to reflect, you'll remember that. You've been working hard to get out of debt. Your home, though simple, is full of love. Your journey is in a different stage, and that's okay. When you honor your reality, envy turns into inspiration, and the weight of comparison dissolves into gratitude. What you don't see, you don't see the effort behind it. The sleepless nights, the doubts, the tears, the fears. You see the victory, but not the process. And most importantly, you don't see your own progress clearly, because you're looking too much outward and forgetting to look inward. Exercise. My path. My time. Take a piece of paper and a pen. Write a timeline of your victories, no matter how small they seem. It could be, I got out of overdraft. I learned to cook at home. I started saving $10 a month. I said no to an impulsive purchase. I went to therapy. I asked for help when I needed it. Seeing this on paper changes something. You realize you've been moving forward, and that your journey is real, legitimate, respectable. Where do you place your gaze? What you feed grows. If you feed comparisons, frustration grows. If you feed presence, self-love blooms. Whenever you catch yourself looking at someone else with sadness, change the question from "why don't I have that?" to "what is this image showing me about my desires?" The answer might be a map for your next choices, not an internal punishment. Rewriting the narrative. You're not less because you have less. You're not a failure because you haven't reached where you want. You're not inferior because your pace is different. You're a being in construction, full of stories, struggles, and lessons. And no one, absolutely no one, can measure the value of your journey. An invitation to peace. Today I invite you to make peace with your story. To stop measuring your worth based on others' lives. To look at others with admiration, not self-criticism. Because when you do this, you free yourself and open space to grow your way. With roots, with truth, with soul. Let's dive deeper and talk about the belief that you can only grow financially with a large salary, and how the secret to progress lies in small, conscious steps, not sporadic big leaps. You've probably heard that little voice saying, only those who earn a lot can grow financially. Or even, if I had a bigger salary, then my financial life would change. These beliefs are common, but today I invite you to look at them with care and gentleness, because this idea, in truth, is a myth that might be holding you back. Let's unravel this story together and discover how financial progress can, yes, happen with what you have in a gentle and steady way. The illusion of the big leap. Many people believe that only a big push can transform their financial life, as if it takes a high leap, an unexpected prize, or a miraculous promotion. But true financial growth rarely works like that. Imagine a staircase that rises gently, step by step. Each step represents a small action, a simple decision, a habit built day by day. When you look at the top of the staircase, it might seem far away, but step by step, you realize you're climbing, and that's already a victory. The power of small steps, saving a little each month, saying no to an unnecessary expense, learning about money, even slowly, with calm, planning your budget with gentle attention. Each of these actions is a seed you plant. Over time, they grow, they become strong roots, and they bear fruit. The magic lies in consistency, not in the size of the money you start saving. The value of what you already have. It's easy to feel small when looking at others who seem to have so much more. But what you have today matters. Your salary, your time, your discipline, all of it matters. If you have a small amount saved, it can be the foundation for a castle. Remember, it's not about how much you start with, but how you care for and nurture that start. The mindset of gentle abundance. You can cultivate a mindset that embraces what you have without haste or pressure. It's a kind look at your financial reality. Instead of thinking about what's missing, think about what can be done now with calm, and allow yourself to celebrate every step forward. This creates a cycle of motivation and hope that fuels your growth. Building loving financial habits. It's not about deprivation or self-criticism. It's about conscious choices made with self-love. For example, instead of cutting out everything that brings pleasure, how about thinking of ways to adjust your spending instead of blaming yourself for a slip? How about learning and moving forward? Each step like this is a solid rung on the ladder of progress. A gentle example. Imagine a gardener tending to a small garden. They don't plant all the seeds on the same day. They care for one at a time, watering, gently removing weeds, waiting for the right moment to harvest. That's how finances are. A patient cultivation, full of love and respect for time. The danger of haste. When you try to rush too much, you can end up tired, demotivated, or even give up. Haste steals the joy of the process. It turns growth into a heavy task. But tranquil progress is light. It respects your limits. It honors your rhythm. And above all, it's sustainable. Planning with kindness. Take a moment to imagine your financial future. Not a distant, perfect future, but one a few months from now, a year from now. What do you see? What small actions can you start taking today to get there? Picture yourself taking these small steps with calm, without haste, without pressure, just with confidence. The notebook of the future. Imagine a notebook with blank pages before you. Each page represents a day, each day an opportunity. In this notebook you can write your goals, but also your small victories. You can draw your path without needing to rush the stroke. It's your space to plan, dream, and walk with kindness. A new story to tell. When you accept that financial growth is a journey of small steps, you start writing a different story. A story of patience, of care, of love for what you have. And little by little, your financial castle begins to emerge. Solid, beautiful, and built to last. A final invitation. Today, allow yourself to look at your finances with gentle eyes. Allow yourself to respect your time and your story. And know that even with little, you're already growing. Because the secret isn't in the size of your salary. It's in how you care for what you have. And that, my dear friend, is a truth that can transform your life. Now that we've walked together through this gentle journey of discoveries about the world of money, I invite you to close your eyes. Let your body relax as if you were lying under a starry sky on a calm and tranquil night. Breathe deeply and exhale slowly. Feel the peace that arises from this moment, from this space you created for yourself, where knowledge and care go hand in hand. Allow all the words we shared today to be like seeds planted in your heart and mind, seeds that will grow in your time with the care and attention you deserve. Remember the breath, the gentle breeze caressing the leaves outside, the soft and kind rain falling. It's these sounds, this calm, that invite you to enter your inner silence, your space of reflection and rest. Every step we took, every gentle thought, every image I painted for you has a single purpose: to bring tranquility to your relationship with money. Because money at its core is energy. It's a tool that can work in your favor even when you're sleeping, even when you're not thinking about it all the time. Think of the ideas we discussed today as small lights, points of light that illuminate your path without haste, without anxiety. You don't need to understand everything now. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to give space for these lights to shine gently while you rest. Imagine your financial future as an enchanted garden where flowers bloom slowly, watered with patience and hope. You deserve this calm. You deserve restful sleep, knowing you're building a future with love and clarity. Allow yourself to trust this process. Trust that when you open your eyes tomorrow, you can continue with gentle and steady steps at your own pace. And if at times doubt or fear arises, remember that they're part of the journey too. You don't need to fight them. Just acknowledge, breathe, and let them pass like clouds in the sky. You're bigger than any anxiety. You're the gardener who tends their soil with love. When you're ready, start noticing your body, your fingers, your feet, the gentle rhythm of your heart. Thank yourself for this moment dedicated to you, to your growth, to your peace, and know that this voice will be here whenever you want to return to this space of calm and learning. So, close your eyes one more time if you wish, and sink into this comfortable silence. Breathe. Feel the air flowing in and out with tranquility and softness. Your financial life is a journey of love, care, and small victories. Allow yourself to live it that way. Thank you so much for being here with me on this journey. I wish you a light night, a deep rest, and that tomorrow you wake with a clear mind and a tranquil heart. Until next time, may this gentle whisper bring peace and inspiration to your day.